Group work, teamwork, collaborative and cooperative learning have several forms and various manifestations. Such activities have been long part of the educator's instrument set. These terms are used in various meanings, but all forms of learning in small groups have multiple benefits for the learners. Cooperative tasks build their interpersonal and social-emotional skills, as well as the so-called 4Cs that seem to be essential for the 21st century. Online, and especially hybrid education, when some learners attend a physical classroom, and others concomitantly join the lessons online, has imposed several challenges in maintaining community and facilitating learner cooperation. In this video we have collected good practices and testimonies of teachers who published their innovations and experiences on various trusted online platforms and communities in the past few years. The links to the sources cited in this video are presented in this learning platform. Below this video, you are encouraged to explore them. Before we start exploring the small group cooperation opportunities in hybrid learning, it is worth stopping and reflecting first on how to build a whole class community and relationships between those attending the lessons on site and the virtual participants of the class. Especially that, in some hybrid classrooms, some students never or rarely see each other in person, and some students never see their teachers in person. 1. Consistent access. As Juliana Finnegan suggests in her article on edutopia.org, entitled 5 Keys to Success in Hybrid Learning, consistent structures, routines, and equal access to virtual materials allow students to always know where to look when they have to find an assignment or need additional support. When agendas, objectives, assignments are in digital formats, routines can stay consistent, regardless of the learning context. Virtual classroom tools, like Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, facilitate not only access to materials, but also cloud-based cooperation among students and teachers. The cooperation possibilities on these shared folders are practically endless, just to mention one, the virtual notebook. These platforms can be just as well used in online as in hybrid and blended learning formats. Some of them have recently been developed to better facilitate hybrid learning. An interesting example of visualization of consistent access points is the Visual Virtual Classroom, a visually replicated classroom environment for remote lessons that can help young learners to find easy access ways to resources, similar to their usual classroom settings. 2. Culture of community. A second key factor in successful hybrid learning, according to Juliana Finnegan, is building a strong, unified culture and community, giving opportunities for students to connect with peers in meaningful and collaborative ways, despite their location. This is key to building a strong, unified culture, where it's not an us and them mentality between in-person and remote students, but instead a we dynamic. Hereby we will present a few examples for strategies and methods for building meaningful collaboration activities. On the edutopia.org platform, Emily Odder Miller, Susan Coder Kelly, Joe Krysick summarized the experience of several teachers who share the opinion that project-based learning provides a powerful vehicle for creating a shared hybrid learning space, one that makes it clear that all students' voices are needed and welcome in the classroom. The various hybrid practices applied by the interviewed teachers have been deduced to 4 strategies by the Edutopia authors. 1. All questions heard. Teachers can help build relationships among on-site and online students by ensuring that all students, face-to-face and virtual, generate and share questions about things they're interested in. When students generate questions, and see those questions become integrated as classroom thinking tools, they feel welcomed as part of the classroom community. 2. Enhance social connections between school-based and home-based students by pairing a virtual student with an in-person student, so that one part of the pair is always in the classroom. To include remote students in hands-on activities, the teacher can ask the online students to collaborate using home materials, making use of the home of the children as an exciting learning environment. 3. Involve virtual students in planning activities. Teachers should encourage online learners to articulate their needs and contribute with their ideas. For example, they can make suggestions regarding classroom settings to ensure that they can see and hear well all that is happening in the classroom. A primary school teacher, Kaylin Fullerton, raised the challenge of bringing the home into the classroom. Even if lesson visits from pets, puppies, baby siblings can distract attention, teachers should try to benefit from the fact that the learning environment is extended with the home environment, inviting for instance family members in, as guest readers or speakers. 4. Have a plan B for slow connectivity. Teachers should assure that students with slow connectivity have a place where they can present their artifacts, even if they cannot join the synchronous video lesson. To solve issues related to connectivity, 4th grade teacher Mary Modoff uses Seesaw for presentations. Seesaw allows all students to practice, record their video, and then present their artifact one by one to the class. Hybrid communication, hybrid planning and sharing of artifacts can all be performed using collaborative boards, as they allow both synchronous and asynchronous collaboration. Most of these boards combine the features of a digital whiteboard with those of online bulletin boards, like Jamboard, Miro, Mural, Padlet. All these can be efficiently used in hybrid group work only if there are multiple computers at hand in the classroom too, minimum 1 laptop or tablet per small groups. Many online applications that allow multimedia content creation, just like Canva, Book Creator, Sutori, Genially, can be used in collaborative modes. Under the same condition, they require proper equipment for both the in-class and the on-site participants, to be used concomitantly by both groups. An interesting recent development with potential hybrid education use is the Post-it app that can collect notes from both physical and virtual Post-it. Small group cooperation got an increased importance during COVID-19 restrictions, when forced online learning and social distancing rules decreased the intensity of usual social connections. In classroom settings, learners just push their tables together and can immediately get engaged in rich discussion, using non-verbal communication, facilitated by the omnipresent teacher, who's always at hand to help if needed. Some of this energy, enthusiasm, and certain elements of cooperation, such as non-verbal communication and eye contact, are hard to achieve in online learning environments, therefore it is much more difficult to build relationships through discussion. One life-saving tool, used by teachers to facilitate small group discussion and teamwork, is the virtual breakout rooms facility, though it is not equally available in all video call applications. Teacher Jorge Valenzuela reported on Edutopia that when creating the breakout rooms, he uses either strategically or randomly chosen groupings, depending on his purpose. For example, when students need to partner for project work, he groups them purposefully. For activities like turn and talk or learning circles, they can be randomly assigned a partner or partners. Collaborative activities that he conducts via breakout rooms include storytelling, think, pair, share, and feedback protocols like Critical Friends. The Harvard Business Publishing Education sets the following minimum requirements for a successful group work in breakout rooms. A maximum of 7 students for meaningful group work, well-defined tasks, and roles within groups. Some other teachers advise that each group should have a student assigned the role of moderator, and the teacher should often visit each group to help when they're struggling. An article published on the Learning Accelerator site elaborates on further strategies to ensure students collaborate effectively with their peers, whether in person or remote. They have several practical advice for all the 3 phases, before releasing students into breakout rooms, during breakout group work time, and after breakout group sessions. They even present template slides to go through this process, templates that any teacher can adapt and simplify. To get students to tune back in, by adopting dynamic, collaborative learning strategies that encourage them to get involved with the material and each other, educators have adapted their usual classroom methods to the online environment. Some successful and inspiring examples of such adapted methods are presented as follows. 1. Jigsaw technique. The teacher asks each student to learn just a piece of the material, then teach it to the group. The group then works together to synthesize the information and create a presentation about what they've learned. The EduFlow website presents a desktop app that facilitates online jigsaw exercises. 2. Brainwriting. It often happens in group discussions that only the loudest, most confident students participate, and often only the most obvious ideas are shared. To avoid this, teachers can use the brainwriting technique in hybrid learning too. encouraging students to write down ideas before a discussion, while ensuring that everyone has a chance for thoughtful participation. 3. Fishbowl method. This activity might actually work better in a hybrid classroom than in an online lesson, considers Derek Bruff. The fishbowl is a class discussion strategy with a long history. With a few modifications brought to the classic formulation, the teacher might select a subset of their online students to be the fish. These students are asked to discuss the topic at hand from their various perspectives, while the other students, the in-person students and any remaining virtual students, listen and observe, and take notes in a collaborative document. After the fishbowl discussion, the observers then paraphrase or question, or argue, as appropriate to the topic. 4. The station rotation model has been adapted to hybrid teaching by Caitlin Tucker. By this model, the teacher creates smaller learning communities within the larger class, and devotes some time working directly with small groups of students. This model is also suitable for differentiated learning, and balances online and offline work, to give students a break from the screen. On her website, Caitlin Tucker offers several tips for using the station rotation model in a hybrid classroom, and displays several templates, tools that help apply this strategy successfully. 5. Digital breaks between online lessons. Another teacher, Kaylin Fullerton, suggests that a few times a week, the teacher could leave the Zoom room on, during the 20-minute break between academic sessions. This allows time for the children to play together in an unstructured way, similar but different of course to recess at school. This time allows the children to build relationships on their own terms. 6. Scaffolding isn't a strategy unique to collaborative learning, but it is a useful general strategy for structuring collaborative course. In the context of group work, this can involve providing examples, setting community guidelines, doing trial runs together as a class. Teachers should set expectations for students early on, such as good comments and follow-up questions, as well as discussion board behavior. The 7 norms of collaboration could be a good starting point. Teachers can also scaffold individual discussion topics, by requiring students to read and complete activities before they are allowed to post about the topic. By the way, scaffolding. Most teachers would define clear team roles to facilitate group work. Some others think, however, that traditional group work roles tend to be too administrative, and don't, usually, serve the learning goals directly, falling short of supporting true collaboration. Jeff Knutson, in an article published on thecommonsense.org, suggests that teachers should structure group work roles differently. Every student should have multiple roles to play, and be dependent upon one another. For meaningful collaboration, students should have 3 things. 1. A task to own, 2. A role in supporting a peer, and 3. The responsibility to assess both themselves and someone else in their group. What do you think? Well, we know that we all try hard, we sometimes succeed, other times we make mistakes and learn from them. With this video, with the resources referred to, we wish to inspire you, but, in fact, when it is about creating community, you just need to trust yourself, trust your students and don't give up.